I used to be a
Digital 410 Productions proudly presents the What's in Your Head podcast.
Digitized live from
Your company name here.
the studios in Cape Coral, Florida. It's the What's in Your Head podcast with your hosts Gordon and Don Abernathy.
What's up? What's up? What's up? OG5. It's a Tuesday. Nay, it's a Friday because
Holy
we have
shit.
a special guest. Well, not that special, but he's a guest nonetheless. In the formerly known as the previous company, Digital 410 Media Studios. This is the first time we've had another ass in the seat, that second microphone getting breathed on since Dave the Waterman back at the beginning of before the COVID. So you might have some residual Dave breath on that stopper popper there. But coming to us from Cape Coral, way of Las Vegas, Nevada, it's Gordon Abernathy. Gordon, how you doing today, sir?
Doing good. It was about a 2,400-mile drive one way.
Wow.
Wowzer schnauzers.
I will tell you this. The worst roads I've run into was in Arizona between Kingman and Flagstaff on the 40. There were so many potholes along about a 200-mile stretch that there was no shit. 20 to 30 cars pulled over, blown out tires. Thank God I had upgraded tires on the Taco and didn't bring the Subaru. I upgraded to the Wild Peaks, and they handled them fantastically.
How are you doing, Mike?
Wonderful, gentlemen. How are we doing this evening?
Well, we had a last-minute barbecue. First time I've dusted off my grill since before the storm.
Nice. Did you have a blasty blast?
Yeah, we burnt a whole bag of charcoal, had a bunch of pork chops, asparagus, some brats. I got a whole plate of protein in there for tomorrow. Jasper's laying in his official bed as he waits for the podcast to kick off.
Nice.
Because through the hurricane, I used my little World War II propane stove, and so I broke out the smoker tonight and used half a bag of charcoal, and it was damn good. We make pork chops here in a skillet, but I put some Sweet Baby Ray's on there, and it got all nice and crunchy, and I was gnawing on the bones like it was fucking ribs. It was delightful.
Nice.
So damn good.
Very
Hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I gave him a call. I said, hey, why don't we make this a thing? We got some pork chops here we can bring over, and we'll do it, you know. And that was what was done. That's what was did. I tell you, I have to say this. It's interesting actually hearing the intro music all the way through. I don't know how it is for you, Mike, but on my end, it just breaks up.
Yep, it cuts out.
That's
Does
to
the
find
same
people
thing
at
for me.
Zoom. Well, what it is it's on your guys' end, that Zoom preventing feedback, like the
Yeah.
old guitar in front of the amplifier type thing. That's the background cancellation. Can you hear the people talking in the background over here while we're talking?
No.
Good,
Good.
perfect.
Fantastic.
Because Gordon's wife and my kid are in there watching movies. By the way, I cut the fucking cord.
Look at you.
You cut the cord to get a new cord?
Well, I cut the cord. No, I cut the cord to go to glass tube. I'm on fiber optic now.
There you go.
Now, we were having problems like before last week, our last live stream of the What's the Scuttlebutt on Comcast, the audio kept cutting out because, well, they were throttling my bandwidth and charging me $10 for every 50 gigs I went over.
Ugh.
So they were charging me. We already went down my internet bill, but on top of that $274, they charged me $50 more last month for going over
Really?
bandwidth. And so not only they throttle it, but then they charge me for it. So anyhow,
That's a lose-lose situation for someone.
dude, I called Comcast, and of course it's some poor chick overseas, and I was like, this is insane. You guys are throttling me. I got, now I have to. Well, my daughter's in there playing Xbox. I got a live stream. I got to wonder, well, how much does this cost me? And she said, well, I'm a Comcast user too, so I apologized.
Now, what this poor chick, did she have a heavy accent but an American name?
Yes, but here's the thing. I wasn't trying to call her on her bullshit, but what I was trying to do was say, really, they charge you overages? So she's like, well, I'm a Comcast too, user too, so I apologize. I said, you have Comcast? And she was, no, we don't have Comcast here. I said, you don't have to lie. Now, I wasn't trying to catch her on bullshit. I was just going to try to say, well, do they hit you with the overages too, which I expect her to say no. And so anyhow, she's like, well, we have a flat rate internet speed. I'm like, really? What would that be? That'd bring your bill to about 300 something. I was like, nah, I'm good. So
That's a car payment.
yeah, exactly. So I called up CenturyLink.
okay.
I got fiber in here, flat rate, $70 a month. Now with Comcast, I was getting 800 megs down and a whopping speed lightning fast 30 megs up. And when you're live streaming, you need that full 30 meg. Now I'm getting throughput. I'm getting 940 down, 940 up.
Nice.
So
Holy
people should
shit.
know. Yeah, it's even. Comcast, they only give you like 30 to 40 megs up. Fiber
Yeah.
optic, it matches, and you get 940 down, 940 up. So our streaming quality should fucking see a huge improvement.
Absolutely.
No, I've got Xlimity too, and
Xlimity.
my lady came to me today and she was like, oh yeah, by the way, the bill's due, and it's ours is usually due at the end of the month, and she told me that it showed up for next month.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 4 adults and a kid that likes to stream and play games all the time, living in my house right now. And she told me that we actually went over
Mm-hmm.
on our limit,
Mm-hmm.
and we pay roughly $80-85 a month for
Just for the internet, not the TV.
Just for the internet. Yep. $10.
Every 50 gigs. They
I don't know
up
if it
to
was
$100. They will go up to $100 a month. They hit me for 50.
$50 over.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Here's the thing.
$50
Call
over.
them up. And here's what I said before I canceled. I said, I can't help but noticing you guys are quick to charge me $10 for every 50 megs. I said, but when I didn't have internet for 16 fucking days, you guys didn't give me any refund. She gave me $90 back. So call their shit up. Say, hey, during Ian, I didn't have internet for a fucking 16 days or however long it was, and they'll refund that shit back to you.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
we're going to go all the way back through the hurricanes.
But luckily, I had pre-wired my house a few years ago because Carrie was complaining about the Wi-Fi signal sucking when she was playing Destiny and Overwatch all the time. Because the downside about fiber is they only want to bring it in where the phone line comes in, which comes through my garage.
Yeah.
Now, the guy's the nicest guy in the world. I don't want to talk bad about him, but it is what it is. Dude came out. He looked borderline Samoan. 6'5". At first, I want to say 300, but think about it, he's probably pushing 4.
So bigger than me.
Yeah, and tall as
Wow.
me. And I knew he's going to come in through the garage, and we got to talking. And when you come in my utility closet, I got the camera monitor there, and I got some other electronics there. And I said, well, here's what we'll do. We'll come through, and then we'll just poke a fish stick up, tape up through here. I'll get to the attic, and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I went up in the attic and brought it through so he didn't have to get up there. But luckily, I had pre-wired. I actually had Cat 6 cable dropped to that security camera system that I never hooked up. So luckily, I was able just to crimp an end on there and already had the other end ran to the podcast studio. So while he was doing the outside work, after I already did his garage work, I just crimped my 2 ends on. So now, whole house is hardwired. It's been a bit of a change getting used to not having cable TV. Not that I
Yeah.
watched a lot of it. I watched Fox. I watched Gutfeld at night. I DVR'd the shit out of Motor Trend. It'll always drive Carrie nuts. Why do you watch all these car shows? You don't know anything about cars. I'd always watch Fast and Loud and
Not
Faster
a
with
ride.
Finnegan and all that. Now they have an app, but I don't want to pay for it.
Yeah.
And then we would DVR like Naked and Afraid and Alone and all that stuff, which I know there'll be on apps. So anyhow, I already had Amazon Prime, Amazon Video, already had Netflix, watched the shit out of YouTube. Hi, YouTube. And so I did pay the $12 for Hulu plus the $2 a month for the Disney with commercials. Because I refuse to be one of those guys who cuts the cord and then spends just as much, the same amount of money on fucking streaming services at that point. Problem with the Disney Plus, it works on my Fire Stick that I have. Luckily my mom got me a Fire Stick for my TV like 5 years ago when I really couldn't use it because I had Amazon Prime. I had Amazon Video through my Comcast box. It made no sense to switch inputs just to watch it on a stick. But now I'm using a stick. Downloaded my Hulu one. Downloaded Disney Plus. I got a Roku TV in here, and my daughter has a Roku TV in her room. I went and launched the Disney Plus on the Roku TV, and it says your service is Disney with television. I mean, with commercials, which isn't compatible with this device.
Ah.
I'm like, motherfucker. Wow. So she can watch Hulu in there. She can watch Netflix in there, YouTube. But if she wants to watch the Disney Plus, she has to go out and watch it on the Xbox in the living room.
That's nuts.
And
see, what we did is, I don't think. Well, one time in my life, if I actually had regular cable or whatever you want to call it these days, I've never had Dish, or satellite TV. I've had regular TV one time in my life, and the rest of it's always like when I first moved out of my parents' house, I didn't have shit. I didn't even have internet.
When Carrie and I got together, she lived in the apartment. Gordon, if you were to open that closet door in front of us, there's about 200 DVDs in there because we couldn't afford cable either. Yep. At the time, Blockbuster was still around, Hollywood Video was still around, Walmart, and so every Tuesday we would go buy DVDs, and we would just watch basic cable, end the shit out of the DVDs, not to mention the like 500 gigs at the time, which was a lot of all the bootleg movies I had on my computer. So we'd watch all that shit. And so it wasn't until we moved in over here. Cool thing about DirecTV now, because we live in Florida, they have the Dish List service. Now it streams over the internet, so you don't have to worry about losing your signal when the fucking rain comes. Yeah. But go ahead. You said you, for the first time.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a brief time, like maybe a few months in my life where I actually had Xfinity boxes and whatnot, and that was okay. And I mean, we were paying a lot of money for that.
$15 for the DVR, $10 for the one that's the size of a fucking tape cassette.
Yeah, all this extra shit, and it was like I watched like 2 channels, and you get like 300, and it was like, well, what's the fucking point? So when I got in over here at the apartments, my lady's got YouTube TV, and she splits that with her mom.
Dude, you know how much that shit is?
I ended up buying my shit outright.
I don't know. It was
YouTube
like
TV, the service,
bucks.
$79 a month. Once again, I'm back to where I was with my fucking cable.
But again, we split it with somebody.
No, you don't. Allegedly, you might.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
we split it with somebody, and separate profiles and stuff like that. So you end up saving a lot of money doing that. And I know that's probably going to come to an end very soon, according to the Netflix bans and all that absolute nonsense. I mean,
well, I can kind of
passwords for the past 15 years.
By the way, Gordon's not that short.
Yes, I was about to say the same thing. I'm actually only 3 inches shorter than Don.
This is the
I'm in the kitty chair today.
This is the computer table, which is higher than the standard, and his computer chair, the hydraulic, doesn't go that high up, and mine extra high.
I feel like my cousin that's real short and has a height complex.
I would
right
say
now.
this table probably sits 5 inches higher than the normal because it's a workbench. But as you were saying, Gordon, I just want to let the people know you're not really a pygmy.
I was going to totally say that. Maybe not pygmy, maybe midget, dwarf.
No, I think midget's more offensive. I was watching Cars with
Cameron. As tall as Mike. I don't even know how tall Mike is. I'm going to guess
he's
5.
only 3.5 foot tall.
I'm going to say about 5'6".
Me?
Yeah.
On a good day, I'm 5'11".
Oh, okay.
Did you meet my neighbor Matt in real life?
The one
across the street, the drummer for Soapy Tuna?
Yes.
He's not exactly a tall man.
No, he's a little on the shorter side.
I've never met her, but he's been posting pictures of his new girl who is shorter than fucking him. Really? So she's got to be like 3 apples tall, because he's a short little Jewish fella, and she's smaller than him.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Like her forehead comes up like his nose. So I don't know where he found her at. Maybe the short people's convention, but that chick is tinier than him. And I mean, he's not tall at all.
He got himself a spinner, huh?
Yeah. Have you guys ever had one of those weird commerce days? Gordon asked me how my day was, and I said, let's save it for the show.
Weird Commerce Day.
So I woke
It
up.
sounds like the world's worst a weird holiday.
I'm trying to get a little bit ahead, right? And this is one of those great months where we actually have 3 paychecks instead of 2 because you have an extra 2 weeks.
Sure.
And so instead of doing what I usually do, which is spend half my blah, 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 I waited like 4 extra days to make my car payment. So instead of making car payment on 1 check and spend half, I allocated it over 2. So I was 4 days behind on my car payment. First time since I refinanced it a year ago. And they called me up on Wednesday. We're calling about it. I said, I'll pay it on Friday. Hung up. Woke up this morning, logged in, paid my car payment. Cool. Paid my cell phone bill. T-Mobile. Just like they did last month. I checked my bank statement. They charged me fucking twice.
Oh, you got the old double bubble.
And isn't it interesting how they can get their money in 3.5 seconds, but it takes 4 fucking days to get your money back?
Oh yeah.
I'm just going to sit in that bank
But
account,
wait.
collect a little bit of interest.
But
and then
wait,
take
No,
it back to
Don.
you.
No, Don. Big business says you can go fuck yourself.
But wait, there's more. My father and I's Amazon Prime, which was an At Computers business account, his credit card was the primary card on it, but he had to get a new one because he switched bank accounts. I did not know this. So when his Amazon Prime went to renew this morning, his card was expired. The secondary card on there was one of my credit cards, which I maxed out when I had to fly to Ohio
Oops.
to get for a funeral. You know, one thing I planned is, oh shit, my friend died. I need to fucking buy plane tickets and this and that.
Emergency fund.
So it hit his, which was expired. It hit mine, which was canceled. So then it rolled down to my bank account. So now, just paid a card payment. T-Mobile hit me fucking twice, and then I get an unexpected $140 a year fucking Prime membership hit on my bank account.
Goddamn shit really does roll downhill.
And then I get a robocall at lunch today. Actually, on lunch, I go to Culver's, and I just get cheese curds and a fucking large shake, right? So I pull in.
That's healthy.
I pull in. Well, I had soup at the office. So I pull in.
That's awesome. Fucking math.
I pull in, and they're doing
Man, soup.
they're doing the Chick-fil-A thing, right? Chick-fil-A is the master of drive-through fucking speed. You can't beat Chick-fil-A. The only difference is Chick-fil-A has 38
Put a pin
people
in
on
that.
staff.
Yeah.
So I pull in, and Chubby McGee's out there in the driveway, and he slaps the 193 sticker on my mirror.
What if he's Chubby McFuckface?
Well, he probably is
Got
Chubby
his
McFish.
last name wrong.
So Chubby McFuckface goes ahead and slaps the 193 sticker on my mirror. He says, "What can I get you?" I said, "A large cheese curd and a medium shake." See that? I want medium shake. I'm being responsible. Can't get a large on both.
Can I get a diet medium shake?
And so he said, "That's a medium cheese curd and a large shake." I said, "Nay, that's a large cheese curd and a medium shake." I'm not unreasonable.
You fucking retarded.
He said, "Okay, go ahead and pull to the window and pay." So I pull up, got my 193 sticker on my mirror. She's looking at me, I'm looking at her.
It's like your car's going to auction.
She's looking at me, I'm looking at her. She said, "Can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I need to pay for my food." So what'd you order? Large cheese curd, medium shake. I'm trying to be responsible. She said, "I don't have an order for you." Okay.
Well, what does your order for 193 say?
Shitty McFuckface never put the order in. Too
What a
busy playing with his
douche
balls in the
canoes.
parking lot.
But yet he gave you a number.
Yeah, he gave me the number before he took the order.
Okay, sir. Please drive around to the window.
There's no smoking in the drive-thru, sir. By smoking in the drive-thru, you're smoking. There's no smoking. There's no
I'm in my
smoke.
car.
I'm in my car, sir. By you being in your car in a parking lot, there's no smoking in the drive-thru. This is ridiculous.
But yet you're huffing down fumes coming out my tailpipe.
And so,
Calling the police, sir.
she puts in the order. I pull forward, and I'm doing a TikTok about. You guys can go see about during the pandemic. I was at Culver's. They put the logo on my mirror, and then they refused to take it off, even though they're the ones that put it on my car because, well, you know, COVID's transferable through touch.
Yeah, I coughed all over it.
And so, Shitty McFuckface comes up, and knocks on my window. Actually, yeah. Did you
Get
pay
into this
for?
decade, bud?
Yeah, when you look at somebody and you're next to me, you know, do you do this anymore or do you just hit the button?
No one knows what this is. Everybody does this. And so I paid for the food. They always have you pull up to get off the timer. So, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, did you pay for your food? I was like, you never put my order in. He's like, I'll take it. I said, no. I said, I'm good. No, I'll go put. I said, don't do anything. I'm good.
Go talk to the lady at the
And
window.
he looked at me like I was a dick, and he waddles off. And so then I
He
come
pick
out.
his ass on his way away from the truck.
So I get my food, and
got
I'm
a
heading back to
wedgie.
the office. So now, so far, made my car payment, got double dinged by fucking T-Mobile, got it hit by Amazon, wasn't expected, dealt with shitty McFussface at Culver's. As I'm pulling in, my phone rings, and I hit it. This is your car bank. We want to let you know we're here for you during this hardship. If you need us... Motherfucker, I was 3 days late one time in a year since I refinanced this fucking car. You guys act like... she's like, holy, what the fuck? I was like, this is insane. 3 days
Don's about
late.
to run down the beach screaming into the ocean.
And I got back to the office, and Josh was like, what's going on? I was like, I should probably just stay indoors the rest of the fucking day. I said, it's just the weirdest shit going on.
And the dollar's
Fucked by
gonna
the green
crash.
weenie again.
Yeah.
So, speaking of drive-thrus and Chick-fil-A, one thing I had noticed, we went to Chick-fil-A today,
Chick fiddle, if you will.
and we got Chick-fil-A in Vegas. Obviously, the ones in Vegas are a little newer because 2 lanes go all the way up to the drive-through window, which is actually a door that they walk out to your car. This one kind of rammed everybody into one line, and
Well, that's because it's a
it's
10.
the one over off of Colonial
Oh, okay.
and 6 Mile Cypress.
Did
By the
you-
way, that's a
by my
shit.
house.
That's a shit show of a road. I was trying to leave Walmart today, and it kept wanting to put me on Colonial. I said, "Fuck you, Waze. You're going to find me a new direction back to McGregor." And I took a right down to 6 Mile Cypress, and it did.
Yeah, it
found
took you
me a
down to
great
fucking
way.
Evans. Evans and MLK.
That whole corner right there, shit show.
Only place worse
Every
is,
day.
as Stan used to say, the desirable Daniels corridor is the only place worse than
It
that.
shot me up. I forget. It eventually shot me over what I like to call Henry Winkler, and then holy shit!
Hell, you're breaking shit. See the studio?
I have bouncing leg syndrome.
Yeah, he's rocking the table, and the side just fell off the server, and papers fell down.
I'm glad we're still on the air.
This studio is not meant for bouncy
Hyperactive
knees.
people. But anyway, yeah. So we went up there. We did take our first drive. Have you been out to Sanibel since the hurricane?
No, and that's what I want to ask you. From an outsider looking in, were you kind of surprised of the amount of residual hurricane damage still going around 7 months later?
You're still in cleanup. It's fucking crazy.
You seeing the giant cardboard box trucks driving around with their claw.
Picking up the world's worst claw game.
Yep.
Yeah. We went to We went to my Fort Myers Beach together,
Mm-hmm.
and saw that. Then Katina, myself, and the 2 doggos went out. We ended up going to Tarpon Beach. There was no water concerns. So it's kind of funny. Oliver quit wanting to walk halfway to the
He
beach.
always
Had to-
does.
He
Got the world's laziest goddamn dog.
well, he is a Cavalier. He's a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
I need to give him a little pumpkin on wheels.
Yeah, pretty much. So we got him to the beach, got him in. He was a little afraid of we had a little bit of waves, you know.
Oh, did you go down to the dog beach?
No, well, from what I understand, they're all dog beach as long as they're on a leash.
Okay.
And started walking, and then all of a sudden, he decided to take a crap in the surf. So I'm playing chase the turds in the surf, you know. It's like, I don't need to add any more pollution to this water, and which was interesting. And we walked. We came.
G.I. Joe swimming through the water. Little brown shark came.
Yeah, and we did end up taking him to the vet while we was here because he started crapping blood, and I'm like, oh my
This
god,
is
what's
before the
going on?
beach, by the way.
This is before the beach. He started a little once we were in
after our veterinarian clinic too.
Yeah.
You know, the
the
expensive
the
guy.
big name apparently around here, and got me-
The one that they charge you so much money that they have maitre d's and fucking 3 double-breasted jackets.
Yeah, it's kind of like the name of Jack Sparrow's ship, but a different color.
The sperm pearl.
The sperm
$1,600
for the vet.
Yeah,
for the vet.
Wow.
10 p.m. at night. The Germans weren't too excited about how long us Americans take to get to their fucking
Yes, there was
dog.
Germans there with a Cavalier also, and she goes, "Are the vets like this all the time?" I was like, "This is a after-hours emergency vet, so this is where all us people go when nobody else is open." She goes, "Usually you go in and you get taken care of and leave." I'm like, "That's your normal vet that you make an appointment with." The situation, this is like the ER. You get in and they see the most serious cases first. So yeah, he actually's fine. He ends up having stress colitis, so he didn't have. I was worried that he's a bit of a garbage disposal. So my concern was he grabbed something on the trip and ate it, and it gave him obstruction. It did not, thank God. But we paid this much money to find out he does got a stressful belly.
Look at him.
Bleeding asshole disease.
Pretty much.
Just sit on his ass.
I just lost my sound.
It's plugged in right underneath you. Just give it a little wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There it is. So yeah, that was quite eventful. But the dogs did really well pretty much on the trip, except Oliver wants to always be up front. The little one, I get her up front and she holds on for dear life. I think there's just too much shit moving around, so we just put her back in the back, and she's good.
How long did the trip take you?
3 days.
3 days total.
I basically
Well, that's
would
because
drive.
they had pre-stops planned. They had hotels booked. It's not like they drove nonstop.
Well, we didn't have them booked, but as we were closing in on it, we would get it booked. I was planning on stopping in Amarillo, which we did. Then the next stop was Jackson, which I knew that some tornadoes came through the Friday,
Yeah,
the day before. So we actually did get Waze did reroute me without letting me know why around some closed roads, and I could see the storm crews out there. Got rained on pretty good there. Hit my second biggest pothole. The biggest pothole ever was in Mississippi. It was in the rain, following a semi in the left hammer lane, and I thought I broke something, but I didn't. Thank God. Taco, Lagatha, she's doing good. And yes, she is named after the Shield Maiden on Vikings because Catherine Winnick is hot, and her character was strong because she's not a truck, she's a truck, and that was kind of it for the rain. I think a little the next day, and haven't really seen any since I got here.
So,
Yet.
Yeah, we probably won't see any rain yet for a while.
So as we're saying, people are still, we're suffering from hurricane damage, and I just tried to send my roofer my 10% down, but apparently you can only send an X amount a month per day on Zelle, so I got to pay him 2 more payments over the next 3 fucking days.
Here's the first of 3 payments.
Now, there's a particular roofing company that's been around Cape Coral for fucking ever. They named themselves after a particular famous sporting auto racing event amongst rednecks.
Is it a lot of left turns?
Ah, yes. I'm very familiar with who you're talking
And they've been around for quite a long time. And I'm sure there's
Sure.
quite a lot of people with hurricane damage who called them up to get some work done.
Certainly.
Dateline, Wink News,
Uh-oh.
March 31st. Hey, that's today. IRS serves warrant on Cape Coral roofing business.
Ruh-roh.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you through your laughing.
Oh, wait a
IRS
second.
serves warrant on Cape Coral roofing business.
How did that redneck organization not
outstanding.
give them a cease and desist?
NASTAR Roofing, because you put tar on that there roof.
Wow,
Officers with
there's
the-
an original owner right there.
That's just like back in the early 2000s, everybody's West Coast plumbing. Back when West Coast choppers was huge, West Coast roofing, they'd have the Iron Cross like Jesse James. West Coast plumbing, West Coast screening.
Dude, we see the same thing. It's like Vegas Born became a thing with the whole Golden Knights. Now there's Vegas Born a mechanical company and this and that.
I
And
think only second.
Really?
I think Christian organizations are only second to China when it comes to ripping off other people's names and icons. But anyhow, officers with criminals investigation, the law enforcement agency responsible for investigating potential criminal violations for the U.S. Internal Revenue Code, raided the offices on Del Prado Boulevard.
it's just probably down the street, isn't it?
Yes, sir. They blocked entrances, spent hours going in and out. We're not trying to cool down the whole damn neighborhood. And removed bags of what appears to be documents. Investigators would not elaborate on what was going on, and we have not been able to reach NASTAR for comment. Imagine that. We will continue to stay
They
on
took
top
our
of this
phones.
development. They took our papers.
They took our phones.
Yep.
They took our germs.
They took our germs. So luckily I didn't pay them any money. And look at that, Bailey's General Store. It's cute. Yeah, so if you guys, hopefully if you're in Southwest Florida and you're getting a roof redid, you didn't sign on with the not-so-fine people over at NASTAR Roofing.
Nastards.
NASTAR. Now, we won't get too much into it. We know there was a shooting by a trans in Tennessee.
Names will not be named except for
Tennessee.
fucktard.
And now for the What's in Your Head podcast TikTok lesson of the week.
How we use the internet is about to fundamentally change
wrong
forever,
story.
and it's
It
terrifying.
happens all the
This-
time.
No, it's because I was going to do that story. So anyhow, yes, the shooting and how we shouldn't. Actually, I did say that. Where did I hold on?
You mean it's not the realm of the angry white
hold on.
kid?
So last night I came across an interview with former FBI profiler Mary Ellen O'Toole, and she backs up something that I've been ranting about
See?
every
I know
time
what I'm
bad
doing.
stuff like this happens. She told the Daily Mail that Nashville and pretty much everywhere else should brace for copycat events due to the inevitable contagion effect caused by the media.
Social contagion.
Adding, quote, threats increase in schools nationwide after a shooting
Cape Coral
has
had two
occurred
yesterday.
anywhere in the U.S. Sadly, evil seems to inspire more evil. Now, she knows this to be true because after the Columbine shootings in '99, the FBI studied 18 previous school shootings and found that the copycat influence was real in all of them. Turns out mass shooters are as unoriginal as they are disgusting.
Yep.
And why? Because info on these fiends becomes instantly available in minute detail. And what do fiends share a love for? Infamy. It's why they keep press clippings from previous shooters, and also why they boast about the infamy before it actually happens, like the Nashville shooter did. So the media incentivizes future mass shootings by rewarding the present ones. I don't know how you can get any more plain than that.
And he goes on to say the official policy for mass shootings is you're supposed to break the news, give the detail, and then the way they suggest it to prevent copycatters and these people looking for the become infamous is any additional updates, you should only do it in print and like not on the cover page.
And never say the name.
Never say the name, don't make it big and blah, blah, blah. And so some people are doing this, some people aren't. But the reason I bring this up is I was talking to young Josh today,
Young Josh.
and I said, you know, I was 2 months away from being in part of a school shooting. I said, when I moved to Ohio, we moved to this town, Hamilton Township. And I went to Hamilton Township from the age of second grade. Yes, that's right. Second grade is an age. The age of second grade until I moved about 3 months into my sixth grade age. And about 2 months later, a kid that I had went to school with since I was the age of second grade up until the age of sixth grade got shot in the head by a gentleman named Gordon. And the kid who got shot's
I
name
wasn't there. I was in high school in another district.
was named Greg.
Well, you know, Gordons do get picked.
And a few years back, I had Googled this story and found an old newspaper clipping about it.
Somebody called him Shumway way too many times.
And so I tried to Google it again to show young Josh's story, and I found this. October 6, 2017, by the author name of Gordon, blah, 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 Jr., the person who actually did the shooting when I was in sixth grade.
Has he got a wife beater on there?
Yeah, because, you know, nothing says Hamilton Township like a wife beater.
Is he actually out of jail?
Yes, and that was before I pulled up the story. I told Josh, I said this was before Columbine. So all Gordon got was a restraining order and expelled from middle school for shooting somebody in the head with a .22 revolver and not killing him.
Lucky kid.
But in October 6, 2017, Gordon, not knowing what he's doing with his life other than rocking a ball head and a wife beater, has 5 followers on this page called Medium.com. He typed, on March
Schwanz.
5th, 1992, I walked into the cafeteria of Hamilton Township Middle School and shot a boy that had been bullying me.
Called him Shumway.
Greg was a dick. He was like white trash dick. He was sometimes cool with me, but sometimes a dick to me. I don't remember Gordon because this is in middle school. I went to school with Greg since second grade, and I left Hamilton after about 2 months, moved to Grove City. Let's see, because he was bullying me. Now, he's honest here. It wasn't because I hated the world. It was because I was a complete pussy. That's the truth. I knew exactly what I was doing. I can't take it back, nor would I. That single act 25 years ago set in motion a lifetime of thought. What I do regret is putting all the innocent people in harm's way. I'll never forgive myself for that. Now I look out and see all the shootings from Columbine to Las Vegas, and I can't help but feel so much shame for my senseless act. So trust me when I tell you that these violent people are years in the making. People only give so many fucks. It's up to you, the individual, to prepare for these encounters. When you hear the stories of a hero in these incidences, know that somewhere along their lives they trained to be there for that fellow man. It wasn't an accident. And the title of this story was Violent People Aren't Meant to Be Dissuaded. And so that is from, and it's so crazy to see that from, you know, if we would have moved to Grove City 2 months later than we did, I would have been at that school in that cafeteria during that fucking shooting. And it's so weird to hear him talking about it firsthand all these years later.
Did they have
Wild.
foosball machines there when you in the cafeteria when you went?
Yeah, I think so.
What were they?
Foosball machines. That's the second time he's gotten tangled up on your headphones. Your dogs aren't studio ready.
No, they're not.
Not studio ready at all. Oh, I just closed up my other story. So,
Ruh-roh.
so yeah, it's just crazy to think. And it is weird to think that shows you how much the world changes. If he would have done that a few years later, he probably would be in prison. But no, he got a fucking restraining order and expelled from school.
That was before there was zero tolerance.
Well, that and he didn't kill him. He hit him. He hit him in the side of the head, and the bullet just kind of went around his skull and came out because it was a .22. So he got lucky on that
which
one.
is a low-powered.
This wouldn't be a good segue to go talk about what we're doing tomorrow. Talking about school shooting.
No, we're not. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're not doing that.
Nope.
So, Mike, what do you got in your list of shit? What have you been up to?
Not much.
You gotta go fishing, man. The bite's hitting.
Gordon, do you have stories tonight?
I got a few.
You got a few? Does anybody have the Florida concealed story?
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
This is coming from, unfortunately, CNN. The Florida State Senate gave final passage to a bill Thursday that will allow people to carry a concealed weapon in public without a government-issued permit.
Oh no! What shall we do?
A top priority for
There you go, Baron the
Governor
Eagle.
DeSantis.
Now, keep in mind they're going to go after DeSantis because they're afraid he's going to run for president. So this is
Yeah.
going to be a slaughter job. But go ahead.
The legislation will also end an existing state requirement to undergo training before carrying a concealed weapon outside the home.
Let's pause right there. I did not read this story today, but I was having one of those thoughts that I often have about situations that never occur. And this thought was me walking down the street and someone from a local news coming up and saying, "What do you think about this?" To which I was going to say, well, if you're going to share a preconceived notion, I'm going to go about my way. But if you're here to do some true journalism, I'm ready to talk. And he just proved my point. In the state of Florida, see, people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about think that in order to have a concealed carry permit, you go down to classes and you're at the gun range. They teach you how to field strip your gun. They teach you proper handling. They teach you how to put a target down range, close grouping, and this and that.
Like
No.
military and police training. It's
No.
not like that at all.
For those of you not in the state of Florida, maybe some of you working at CNN, not that you're watching this podcast, the classes you take in the state of Florida is about the law. When it's time to pull your gun, when it's time not to pull your gun, what is considered a concealed weapon. That includes knives with blades longer than 5 inches. The concealed carry permit class has nothing to do with proper gun handling, nothing to do with safety. It's all about not ending up in prison. It's all 100% about the law when you're taking the required class. With that being said, you can get a bundle class where they have an NRA gun safety, but the required class for the Florida concealed carry permit is just that. And I've said it before. The concealed carry permit is primarily there to keep poor people from having a concealed carry permit because poor people oftentimes do desperate shit. And you say, Don, well, that doesn't make any sense. When I took that class 4 years ago, it was roughly about $200. That's not a lot of money. It is when you're poor and your paycheck's $400. Do you want to spend half of your fucking paycheck on a concealed carry class? Which, by the way, after you pay the $200 and you take your 2-day class and you go down to the state agricultural center, the very first question after you stand in line, not can I see your paperwork, not did you take the class, swear to God, the very first question, what form of payment are you making today, sir? Once they process your payment for another $175, i.e. the other half of the poor man's paycheck, then and only then do they ask you for your paperwork. And then the questions you answer down at the agricultural center to get your concealed carry permit are basically the same questions you have to pass when you buy the firearm in the first place. So by getting rid of the concealed carry permit, all you're doing is taking money away from the state, which I'm surprised Florida did because we don't have income taxes.
Now, do they make
Right.
you like with us? We have to actually do a practical and do a 7,
No, they
5, 7, and 12-yard 30-round.
Glad you asked that. I forgot. No, they make you drive all the way down to Cecil B. Webb, where we're going tomorrow, give you a revolver, make you pull the trigger one fucking time.
Wait.
give the gun
Not
back.
even the gun you carry?
No. You can't even
Wow.
bring the gun you have to class. No
Wow.
guns allowed.
No, we
You
bring our
drive
own.
down there, they give you a fucking revolver, the worst gun to train on with a fucking 3-pound trigger pull. You squeeze around one time, they say thank you very much. You all drive back to the class, they sign your paperwork, and you're done. So for
Yeah, our instructor actually will take us to the range and have us all go through, I believe it's 5, 7, and 12, and it's 10 rounds each. And you got to definitely hit it within, a good range.
here.
I tested on it. Believe it or not, I qualified, and so did Katina, on a XDS-9, which has a 3.3-inch barrel.
And so for all these media outlets who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, who think now there's criminals going and unsafe people, look, the questions you have to pass when you're paying for your permit is, are you a diplomat from another country? No. Are you taking a Schedule 1 narcotic? No. Have you had basically the exact same shit you have to pass when you're at the gun store to buy the gun to begin with? Because
Have you ever done marijuana? No.
you know the only benefit you get from a concealed carry permit in the state of Florida, other than the fact you got to carry a gun up until now? Because you've already had your background check and you've already answered those questions, you no longer have the waiting period. You can walk into any gun store and buy a pistol and leave that day.
Which
That
is how it is in Nevada anyway.
Would be the only benefit to maintain having a concealed carry permit if you're the type of person who likes to purchase firearms on a regular basis. If you're a lifetime guy, then wait the 4 days.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so if you're concerned, if you're one of these anti-gun people, you're concerned all of a sudden now, well, now criminals are going to have, look, criminals already had the fucking guns because
You're not going to get rid of them.
If-
how
if
did
they can't legally
prohibition
buy
work?
if they can't legally buy them to begin with, the permit that doesn't require any safety has nothing to do with it. And by the way, I called out fucking Fox News yesterday, the local Fox affiliate, because on their story for the picture, they had a picture of a guy open carrying, try to scare people. Oh, Florida passes concealed carry, and I got a guy with a fucking holster on his hip, not even covered up. It's like, well, first off, dickhead, that's open carry. That has nothing to do with concealed carry. You're just trying to get fucking shock value clicks.
What's wrong with open carry?
Nothing, but when they're trying to say Florida passed
Yeah.
a constitutional carry, which does not mean you can open carry, but the photo you're using is open carry, you're trying to scare people thinking it's going to be the Wild West and people will be walking around with guns on their hips. Nothing has changed other than the fact that we're not paying the state $150. We're not paying some guy who has a class $175. Nothing else has changed.
Wonder-
You still have to pass the same requirements when you go to the gun store to buy the fucking gun. So literally nothing has changed other than now the poor people can fucking carry guns.
The amount of
Yep.
Californians we have moving into Vegas, and the fact that Nevada is still a open. If you don't have a CCW, you can open carry there. Period.
Check this out, Mike. In Vegas, where Gordon lives, you can open carry legally. But if you want to conceal carry in your front fucking yard, you got to get a permit. You can open carry fine. Nobody cares. You
On your own property, if you're
you
concealed
put that
carrying,
shirt over it, or you're in your living room with a gun in your waistband in your living room, and the cop comes over, you
sure
better have a
that shit's
fucking permit.
untucked. Make sure it's untucked. You can see it.
Wow.
I tell you, I knew a guy who was living in Pahrump, and there was a
Pahrump?
lady who called the sheriff on because he's out there working in his yard, and he had his piece on his hip open. Cop came by and said, "Hey, there's a lady down there." He goes, "She's from California. She thinks that you're doing something illegal." I had to go set her straight.
Wow.
You know, that's another one of the
the.
But I tell you, the first time you open carry in public, there's a little.
first time you conceal
Feel
carry in
naughty.
public. You feel naughty the first time you conceal carry because your entire life you've been trained and taught if you have a gun in public, you're an evildoer. The first time I felt, and the first time you conceal carry, you're all like, "Fuck, am I printing? People are going to see me." And you're all worried.
That's a medical device.
You're
Leave
all
me alone.
worried, and then you realize after like the 8th time that no one is
No
paying
one's paying
attention to what the
attention.
fuck's going on.
Unless you're another guy carrying a gun, and then you're looking.
It's funny you say that because the other day I wore my Kodex. Is that what you call it? The one with the leather strap and the plastic holster, Kydex.
Kydex.
I usually wear a sticky holster. I just slip in and out. But since I wear my Kydex when I go kayak fishing because I don't want my sticky to fall in the water. And since I've done so, the leather's finally got broken and it's more comfortable than it is when it's brand new. And so the other day I put it on and I wear it in a different spot.
Now, is this Kydex on the inside wrapped with leather?
I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
And so I'm worried about printing, and I see a guy walking to me, has on basketball gym shorts and a shirt, and I can see the hilt underneath his shirt on his side, but he had a full plastic holster sticking out from underneath his shirt. But because you couldn't see the barrel, I guess he figured that people must think it's a cell phone holster. So you can actually see the entire bottom of his holster sticking out from underneath his shirt, and you can see the hilt printing on the inside of his shirt.
Oh my god.
I was like, yep, that guy's got a gun. And one time I was out running around Edison Bridge, and you got to go through some kind of sketchy areas if you're afraid of the life. And this guy was jogging with his wife, and he's got sweat, and you can see he had a belly band underneath his shirt. All sweat, and there's a perfect silhouette of a dry spot of the fucking gun underneath his shirt. His whole shirt's just drenched, and you can just see a perfectly dry Glock right in the center of his chest. Oh,
There's a Glock 17.
I remember I got my CCW when it was actually not too long before the storm, and I remember after the storm, like I was on call at my last company, and just going out, I was like, "There's no fucking, I ain't fucking around."
Nope.
I kept that shit on. I went to customers' houses with it in my fucking waistband. I was like, I'm not dealing with these people, not dealing with these fucking.
what do you mean by them
know,
people?
Yeah, them, yeah.
Well, desperate
Fucking right
times
then,
calls
people.
for desperate measures for some people.
And I remember thinking, I was at this one customer's house, nice people, nothing, and I had it in my waistband, and I would like bend over to do some work.
Well,
or
see, that's
something
kind of
like
risky
that.
because
But, like,
you're not
it
over
kinda
there.
my shirt would rise up, and I'm like, oh, somebody can see this.
Well, see, that's what I'm thinking. You're a plumber. You're not exactly like, installing light bulbs in people's ceilings. You're bent down. Your profession is responsible for the beloved plumber's crack, right? So, I mean, it just comes with the job that your shirt pulls up, your ass is exposed, and so hypothetically would be your gun. So that's a risky line of work to be carrying in people's houses. I never did that. I would always, when I was doing service work, I would secure it my Glock box. It's not a glove box. I don't keep gloves in there. I'd secure it my locked Glock box.
Yeah, I don't. That was only for strictly because of the storm and the lack of, personal security, being concerned for personal safety.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, ever since then, it just stays in the truck. So
There you go.
Just stays in the truck. What else you got on your list of shit there, fella?
not a whole lot of shit as far as stories or anything like that. I mean, as you know, Ron
Right.
moved away.
Yeah, that sucks.
I'm sad.
He lost his friend. It's
My
not like he
buddy's
lived
gone.
close to you anyhow. He lived fucking hour
Is
away
this
from
the
you.
other guy that's part of the Tackle Your Best?
Yes.
He lived
he,
40. He lived an hour from you on any given day anyhow. It's not like
Yeah, I
you guys.
lived down in fucking Golden Gate.
Yeah, rich
It was a
bastard.
fucking half-hour drive on the highway and then another fucking half-hour down Immokalee Road.
And that's if there
and,
wasn't any traffic.
Yeah. But now he's moving 6 hours away.
Yeah.
That's north, huh?
Yeah. And he actually he's moving to a small town outside of Tallahassee. And
That's up there in Florida Hill Country, right?
Mm-hmm.
he called me, it was like Wednesday or Thursday. He's like, "Oh man, I really need some help." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Oh, we're moving this weekend and everybody that I've tried calling for help is either busy or
Doesn't want to
something.
drive 6 hours.
He was like, "Do you think you can help me?" I was like, "What do I got to do?" He was like, "You got to drive up there. You got to help me with the big stuff and the heavy stuff, and then you got to drive back down."
He's got a V8 truck.
So I was like, of course I said, "Yeah, I'll help you out. I'm not that concerned about it." And then he called me today, the day of, and he was like, "Oh, I got some movers." I was like,
Thank God.
Bullet dodged. Pardon the
Yeah.
pun.
no, I didn't mind. I just like if I mean, Gordon, you live many miles away.
They crossed the country, essentially.
Yeah,
Technically, he
But
lives many
if-
moons away.
many moons away.
3 time zones.
If Don called me and needed help or something like that, I'd come help too. So it's no different.
But not you. You're on your own. You live too far away.
Yeah, you're fucked. I'm not driving 3 days to come help your ass.
Not in a V8 truck.
Hey, I tell you, that Tacoma did good fully loaded. We averaged between 20 and 22 miles per gallon.
I was gonna say, what was your, if you can say this, and just a generality, what was your average fuel cost for the whole?
Cheaper
ride?
than an airplane ticket for 2 adults and 2 dogs.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that
you brought both
because
those
until I
dogs.
got here and I failed to. No, I've recorded every one. I've got this app that I downloaded because I wanted to track it. So far,
I'm sleepy.
you sleepy?
I'm sleepy tired.
Odometer, date, miles per gallon, cost. 61, 40, 25. We're a couple $100 in, about 300 in.
It's still cheaper
Really?
than 2
Yeah.
2 plane.
No,
well,
it's
4
just
plane
it.
tickets.
4 plane tickets or 2 plane tickets plus dog tickets, which is another $100 each, plus baggage tickets,
Rent a
plus
car.
rent a car for probably about $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot.
He's
better.
got a nice Airbnb right down the street from the Edison Ford Estates.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes, it's called McGregor Cottage.
Is it right on McGregor? Is it-
Yeah,
right
it's
on
right,
McGregor.
right there.
No shit.
Yep. Yeah, it's an older, weird-looking kind
He's
of
about-
flat-roofed house. It's got the parapet with almost like the castle ends on it.
Yeah, he's right
Okay.
before Edison. He's in between the Edison Estates and the Edison golf course.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it down there. I like that part of town. If I was to move to this area, that would be the area I would look. Yeah,
that's
even
where
though
all
I'm
the
sure
lawyers
those
and
small
doctors
homes are
live.
expensive. But if you go towards,
You go 3 miles past River District, you're in a bad neighborhood.
yeah, you go to the other
There's
side
a
of
fine line
McGregor.
demarcation there.
You go to the other
Yeah.
side of McGregor, and a couple of blocks over, it gets a little more affordable. Then you end up on what is it, 41, and it's
No, you end up down on Palm Beach, Evans, Fowler, or
yeah, down there
okay.
Fowler and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, a little concerning.
it's like there's a lot of interesting folk around
That's where I
here.
go to the pet store because the property value is so low, their overhead's low, and like the same bird food that I get at PetSmart for $22 is $10 down there because their overhead's so low because the neighborhood's so rough.
Now, do you take the 12 miles to the gallon truck to go get it? Or
No,
do you
we take the
okay.
Volkswagen, and their bird
I'm
toys.
just making sure.
Well, their bird toys too are only like $5 to $8, and those same bird toys are like 15 to 20. And
Yeah.
so, like, we once a month just take a pilgrimage down there and buy bird toys, almonds, and and food. I remember I was at PetSmart, like, if you buy one, get one half off. I'm like, yeah, but your half off is my regular price for the other place. The only reason I'm here is because they, it's fucking Wednesday. I get down there on a
Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh, update.
Update.
As you gentlemen know, and maybe some of the listeners would know, or viewers, my parents lost their house in the hurricane.
So did ours.
And-
My dad's.
That's why I'm here.
6 months
Yeah.
later, we went over. Well, Gordon did the drilling. I did the smelling. My dad's second washer still lifted up on top of the dryer, full of salt water
It's
and
interesting
cloves.
that he had 2 washers, by the way.
Outstanding.
Well, one of them came with the house, the other one was Melody's and his. So
Outstanding.
just drained salt water out. That's been sitting in the washer and dryer outside for 6 months in his utility room.
Yeah, he
all
was
rusted
using the
and
Ryobi,
corroded
and
and
I was like, you know what? I've
This
gotta
calls
make-
for Makita.
This calls for a Makita. It's got a little more oomph to it, and punched right through it a few times. I have Ryobis. There's nothing wrong with them, but sometimes you need a little more RPM.
Did your parents get a FEMA check finally?
No.
Oh, that
My parents bought a piece of property just north of here, about 45 minutes away,
Undeveloped.
and undeveloped.
Sweet.
And they decided that they were going to put a home on it, manufactured home.
Nice.
You know what? People
And-
besmirch manufactured homes, but I tell you, they're better built than most stick homes.
And while we're on the subject, not to take away from
Yes.
your parents, but it turns out the reason my father's trailer didn't get disintegrated is it was constructed back in the 70s with full-size 2x4
And stringers.
stringers and fucking studs in the walls. It wasn't
studly.
aluminum. It was an old 70s straight up 2x4, not 2x3s, not fucking the cheap
Nice.
shit.
Plumbis or nothing.
It was all solid wood. That's the only reason it stayed
Nice.
together. And everybody else's fell over because the newer ones are made out of that aluminum shit.
Yeah,
Well, that's what happens when they don't screw down the other side of the frickin' stud.
yeah.
How many times have you pulled crap through studs and they just fold on you?
You know how they secure? You know how they secure their
Oh, wait.
carports?
They're what?
Carports?
Ratchet straps.
Oh, the carports?
Yeah, they literally take a ratchet strap. There's an O-ring in the driveway, and they literally ratchet strap that shit down.
For like storms and shit?
Yeah.
Now, do you slap it and say it ain't
Shit.
going nowhere?
Well, if you don't, you lose your fucking house. Everybody knows that.
That's right. That's
Hey,
right.
speaking of
Oh,
which,
guess what we saw? We'll get back to your parents there real quick. I've never seen this in real time. I've seen the post.
damn, if you only had your dash cam going.
I've seen the post issues. I took off work the other day and we're heading over to my dad's storage unit, and we were coming down Del Prado by actually Pine Island, by the axe throwing place and the pool hall down by Skyline and Chiquita.
Okay.
Dude came rolling through in like a nice F-150, F-250, pulling what looked like to be a brand new pontoon boat. And he went through the intersection. You know how intersections dip a little bit.
He was going in through hot. He was going through it hot.
Trailer disconnected, bounced off the road, came up. The trailer hitch was above his tailgate. He looked in the mirror, overreacted, slammed on the brakes, and the pontoon boat, because it doesn't have brakes on the trailer, just went boom, smashed in the back of his fucking tailgate. And you see him just...
And in your best Nelson voice, you go,
Yeah, he overreacted. Instead of slowing down and letting the fucking drag, he just slammed on the brakes, and the thing just came forward, smacked right
Somebody
into it.
didn't either A, have the right size hitch ball, or B, didn't lock that shit down.
They didn't smack
about
it and say it
a
ain't going anywhere.
Wow. Holy shit.
That's why I always put the padlock on there, make you feel a little secure.
Oh yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents they got that property, and you know they ordered their house. They put their down payment on their house.
Which they did through
And-
Zelle, and they had to do 38 different payments.
Yeah. They
You can only send $3,500 every 24 hours.
they finally got the inspection done, I guess, or what do they call that? The survey?
Cape Coral's
Got the
doing auto.
survey.
Cape Coral's doing auto permits on roofing right now.
Oh really?
Yep.
No shit.
Mm-hmm.
They got the survey done, and they're getting all of the permits are finally getting sent in, approved, and all that stuff, and work is finally getting started.
Now, they
On
don't
the
have to worry
property.
about like any like weird lizard habitat that they can't build on or anything, do they?
Burrowing owls.
No,
burrow
no,
owls.
Burrowing owls.
Yeah, we have
assholes.
the burrowing owls.
You
but,
actually have to, if you have burrowing owls on your property, you have to include relocation funds to relocate them, especially
Yeah.
in commercial properties.
Yeah, but they did the survey on everything, and everything checked out.
Would
okay.
like
There's-
take
there's nothing
survey.
on the property, but-
Now,
uh,
what's step one? Drilling a well? I watch enough
No.
Homestead Rescue. I know how important water is.
No, step one would be making the driveway.
Pershaw, all you need is a front loader and a chainsaw for that.
Yeah, but what if the driveway's going where there needs to be a well? Then you get a divining rod out there? to
Telling you,
find
the
well?
Rainey family
Yeah,
would
but I
tell
mean,
you.
a well here, you can drill just about anywhere and find out.
And it's all got that weird smell to it,
All
too.
you need is an 8-foot long auger bit on your D-Walt.
Done. But
You look happy.
but yeah, first step is going to be putting in the culvert, doing the driveway, widening the driveway a little bit, and then they can finally start putting the pad for the house, and then drilling the well, and putting in the septic system, and all that fun shit. So
Why do you smell like
things are
fish? Did you,
moving
Sweating.
along.
They don't sweat.
He smells him. He smells like fish.
Did you
Did you go in my
express
closet?
your
Did you go in my
plans?
closet? Every once in a while, my dogs will go in my closet and lay in my fishing shirts.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go fishing.
You
Well,
didn't get into that wastebasket in the.
I'm gonna try to go fishing maybe tomorrow night after we go to the Pew Pew range because they are fucking biting, fellas.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't, because I was supposed to help Ron all week, or well, pretty much.
Oh, we
all
got
day
So
Sunday.
it all worked
tomorrow.
out.
We can go fishing Sunday.
Yeah.
Fishing.
Now, do you both stand up and see who can stand up in their kayak the longest?
Mike's not quite there yet.
Damn, but he's got the ultra stable kayak, right?
Yeah, I've only seen him stand up on once, and that was to take a piss.
That's because I'm a large man.
I'm a large man too. You'll see. You'll see how much myself
I'll
and
tell
my
you
father
what,
look
it
alike.
makes a huge difference when it comes to. Ooh,
But you got a lower center of gravity than this guy.
yeah, right.
True.
I turned into a fucking sail. Like I was out
Or-
the other day standing up, and I
or a
was
top
go-
that needs to
I
be
was
spinning.
going backwards so fucking quick. So we went out to Lakes Park last
He's the main sail.
last Thursday, and it looked like spring water. You could see to the very bottom.
No shit.
Carrie looks down, and I'm sure this has happened to us 1,000 times before, but the water looks like fucking toilet water. You can't see. She looks down, and there's like a 12-foot gator just laying on the bottom of the lake right below her kayak. She's like, "Doo, doo, 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 doo."
Excuse me.
She pulled a 3-pound bass out of there. Biggest fish we caught at Lakes Park. Dude, you're the one telling me they have snook there, right?
Yes.
I had a snook on my crankbait. It jumped and got off, and my fucking GoPro wasn't on. That would have been my first freshwater snook. Right, my second snook ever. I caught one on your boat.
Now, is that a snook or schnook?
Thing was fucking huge. But you know what? Standing up and fishing, the sight fishing, there's so much goddamn. We saw tilapia out the
He's
ass.
at a
There's
loss
just
for words.
tilapia all over the goddamn place.
Aquarium
Yeah,
fish.
I believe it. Yeah, I've seen quite a few videos of some dudes going out there and catching snook, and I saw, that's how I know they're in there. And like, you know, believe what you want about internet or whatever, but we were down there, God, 2 years ago, and I think we were doing that whole train thing that they have going on over there. and,
Speaking of
we
that
took
fucking
my
train,
son-
whoever runs the parking lot miniature train at Lakes Park,
Yep.
why do they have a horn of a 62 Buick on there?
Somebody thought it would be funny.
No, it doesn't sound cute like an air horn. It sounds like you're in the mall parking lot in 1989 and someone's honking at you to get the parking lot
I
because
mean, it's
as they drive around, they're honking the horn. It's not an air horn. It sounds like a fucking Buick.
so it's not like putting a train horn inside a Prius.
No, it sounds like it's not cute. It literally sounds like somebody has fucking road rage. Honk, honk, honk. It's like put a fucking air horn on that thing.
Well, and they also, it's not like a miniature train car either. It's a fucking lawnmower. That's all it is.
I know. See,
You got Hank Hill
Lawnmower-
driving.
It's a lawnmower dressed up to look like a train,
Yeah,
and you can tell all it is.
and
is
it's not a
Now the
steam
guy
engine.
driving, does he got a can of Budweiser in his? in
It's
his
not
hand?
like a steam engine. It looks like the CTX train from like 1983. It's
Yeah.
long, black,
Yeah.
and it's miniature. And it got some grown ass adults sitting on there honking, honk, honk.
Not even a steam engine.
No.
Nick, huh?
No, it looks like a CTX. What are those? Were the thing that had the cat on it? We used to look at when we were kids.
Yep.
Yeah, and,
cat
and
trains.
you can smell the fucking the two-stroke burning.
So I was out there doing TikTok. And I'm like, that's not.
Smell that? That's a smell.
I'm like, that's not a parking lot. That's a stupid train going by. Honk, honk. 'Cause every time he crosses the
smells
sidewalk.
like my wave runner.
Well, we were there, like I said, a couple of years ago, and I mean, we were doing that whole experience, and we were walking over one of the bridges towards the back. It's actually the
Back
know
by
where
the
that-
gazebo. And all the
think.
lily pads.
yeah. There's
Yep.
all them lily pads, and then there's a bridge right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that bridge, we were walking over it one day, or that day, and I saw two massive snook just back and forth underneath that bridge, getting in the shade, coming out, getting in the shade, coming
I
out.
had one on a
They were
crankbait, and
big.
some bitch jumped and got off. I was like, that
Yeah.
wasn't a bass. I said, I saw the stripes. That looked like a fucking snook.
Now snooks,
Yeah.
are they long and thin,
Yeah.
like a
Yes.
walleye or a pike?
Kind of.
They're more often in
They're-
saltwater,
They're yeah,
Like a
they-
salmon?
They can survive in both.
and they have
So
sharp
they-
gill plates.
They live in brackish water, they can live in fresh water, and they can live in salt.
Here you go.
water.
Yeah, kind of like a salmon.
Yeah.
Look at this fucking.
Yeah,
look at this
kinda.
hog right here.
Okay.
It's like the saltwater version of a bass, kind of.
But
It's just longer and skinnier.
it wasn't until I went saltwater fishing on your boat that I realized why bass are the perfect fucking sport fish. See that snook?
Mm-hmm.
It's the type of fish that when you put it back, your hands are covered in scales.
Mm-hmm.
They have sharp gill plates. You have other fish that have sharp teeth. Bass don't.
So you're saying you almost need to be having gloves to handle
Bass
it.
doesn't smell. Some people it has a slight hint. There's a little bit of pokey things on them, but their teeth are like sandpaper. They don't shed on you. You can handle them. They're rugged. They're like the perfect sport fishing fish because they don't have all the trappings of some of these other fish that fucking gar are nasty. Gar stink. They slime you. Snook.
Gar looks like they're prehistoric too.
No, you know what's prehistoric? Bowfin. Those fuckers are dinosaurs.
Yeah, they really are.
Carrie's nephew caught one that was almost as big as him. It was like fucking 5 feet long. Look at this fucking thing.
Is that brackish and freshwater also?
Yeah, look at this thing.
Bowfins and snakeheads.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bowfin. Carrie caught a gar. Luckily, got off. Carrie snagged a gar on a crankbait that was almost the length of her kayak one time over off BMX, and she was reeling in and finally came off, but the fucking thing was every
Probably
bit of 5
pulling her,
feet.
wasn't it?
No shit.
Yeah, but gar sucked too.
So I heard somebody say that if you cook gar properly, like anything that tastes nasty, you got to cook it a certain way.
Well, the problem with gar is you got to cut them with 10 snips.
Hmm.
They're
So there's a YouTuber. His name is Robert Arrington. He has a YouTube channel called Deer Meat for Dinner, and he'll catch just about anything. I mean, he hunts, he fishes. He's made his career as a YouTuber, and he'll catch just about anything. He'll cook it, clean it, and eat it. And he said I've seen him clean a gar, and he actually had to use a freaking razor blade to cut the skin off.
I need the box
And
cutter.
he got the loins and everything off of it. He-
Yeah,
he
there's a
cooked it
video.
up and he was
This
like,
may
"It's
be-
phenomenal."
I'm looking at a YouTube picture, and this guy has a alligator gar bigger than him. He's got a big ass butcher knife.
Yeah.
I mean, look, here's a picture. Look, the guy literally has husky 10 snips
Oh wow!
to cut through the skin because it's like it's like.
What did
that
they
deer
say the
meat?
flavors like?
I don't remember.
Like catfish, maybe?
No, because they're not bottom
No.
feeders. They hit on top water. They're
It's
hard to catch
It's-
because they have this little mouth, whereas bass have, you
Yeah.
know, and so they'll hit on your crankbait, and unless they bite directly down on that hook, they're really hard to catch.
yeah.
But yeah, you literally have to cut them open with like fucking 10 snips. Here's a guy using a machete.
But yeah, I mean the main thing when it comes to like
See, look at this.
snook and redfish,
Yeah,
and,
that's nuts.
and trout, because like if you catch a trout will slime the shit out of you. too.
Oh
It's
yeah,
only a
I
teeth.
living up in Montana. The trout. So you go to the store, you get trout and the rainbow trout, and the meat's white, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You pull it out of the Gallatin River, which is known for a river runs through it,
Mhm.
and it is pink like salmon because it's
Really?
always in the water and it's always fighting the current. So, it's getting more oxygen, it's getting more exercise. It's not just in a farm.
Right.
It's delicious. I
Yeah,
never
the-
got into the fly fishing up there because I knew what would happen. Fly fishermen are it's an addiction, and I'd be tying flies. I got buddies who's still tying flies to this day.
Here's a screenshot of a guy who has a gar up on the dock, and he's got a bead of his Glock on it.
God, look at that thing. To me that looks more prehistoric than,
Yeah.
than a bowfin. That's just
Well, that's the difference between an alligator gar and a regular gar. That's an alligator gar
Mhm.
there.
it looks like an alligator.
Our gars are more like this with the small, skinny.
I think they have alligator gars up in Ohio River and that.
Yeah, they're all over the place.
But yeah, that's
I think they're
Gar.
native though.
gar.
Dots, not feathers, or feathers, not dots. Oh, wrong natives. I got you.
You didn't even use the right word on that one.
Well,
Engines.
No, now we definitely.
No, I'm talking
He did
about
it
a
again.
Hemi or a
Hurt someone's feelings. Yet he
small
didn't
block,
want
an
to.
LS.
Yes, troublesome people are often people in trouble.
It's with
they
an
may
E.
be mentally ill. Find out how you can help. Write Better Mental Health, Box 3000, New York 1, New York.
Why does it have to be a tongue twister?
Because it does.
Oh,
Is that Carrie?
yeah.
What was it?
So I have her do like, the intros, Digital 410,
Yeah.
probably, and like the What's the Scuttlebutt, and so she'll get annoyed, and I'll cut those clips.
Why does it have to be a tongue
So is
twister?
that wait. The roar, is that an I'm annoyed noise?
That's
I
how I
can't
got
hear
this. That's how we got this. Was I had Sariana doing at the end of my videos. You hear?
This has been a Digital 410 production.
I had her reading it, and she took like for it, and I love that one because it's almost as if she's saying, "This piece of shit is a Digital 410 production." Like this.
It's like
this
it's
has
a
been.
question.
This
it's
has
a
been.
question.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah,
why I
it's not
love
a
it.
statement.
This
It's a
has
question.
been a Digital 410 production.
It's like
It
a
sounds like she was
question.
looking at you like, was that okay?
Yeah, like this. This wasn't this. You're proud of this? This is a Digital 410 production. I used to have more of Carrie, like her laughs and stuff. I got to pull them out, but we started off the show with this, and we'll get back to it.
And now for the What's in Your Head podcast TikTok lesson of the week.
How we use the internet is about to fundamentally change forever, and it's terrifying. This is Bill S686, also known as the Restrict Bill. You'll probably know it as the TikTok ban bill, but it does so much more than just that. The bill covers hardware technology like modems, routers, and home cameras, and virtual tech like VPNs, and basically bans them if they are manufactured by or used to contact and deal with foreign adversaries. Speaking of VPNs, using VPNs to bypass banned apps such as TikTok is made a criminal act under this bill, and the penalty, it's a minimum imprisonment of 20 years and a minimum fine of $250,000 or $1 million, depending if you knowingly did so to access banned content. The bill gives the federal government the power to monitor any activity used by these suspected devices, virtual or otherwise. Essentially, they can monitor what you are doing at home 24/7 without even informing you. This includes things such as routers, video games, streaming apps, smart thermostats, Ring cameras, basically anything that uses the internet.
And this has been the What's in Your Head podcast TikTok lesson of the week.
Remember the quaint days?
Jesus H. Christ.
Remember the quaint days when we were worried about the NSA's monitoring our phone?
I'm gonna say this TikTok was brought to you by NordVPN.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. My FBI agent's gonna laugh when he sees me jerking off in the bathroom.
Don't you put a Post-it note over your camera like most people?
No,
I
check
just-
this
just
out.
let him-
Have you
just
done
let him
this
see
yet,
it all.
Don? Go here and create this little guy. This shuts off all cameras and all mics.
No, I don't think mine
It's
has
under
that
the,
one.
no, it does. You've actually got to go in under settings and put it in programmer mode. I have to show you that.
That's called whack-off mode.
Shut up.
Hi, Jasper. Are you playing with your cousin?
Yes, he is.
guys wanna get
Oliver,
along?
you want my lap? No, not yet.
But it's so weird. I keep thinking it's a Tuesday night, but it's a Friday night. But
Friday.
we've
Well,
gone a
you
little.
done
We've
screwed
gone
me up
about
again.
just the amount of time. Anything else you guys got coming down the pike or want to talk about? Oh, real quick. We need to discuss this off the air because Gordon's here in town, and it will save us a lot of postage. Over at the What's the Scuttlebutt podcast, we're going to start doing monthly giveaways on Patreon to encourage people to sign up. And some of these things are going to require autographs. Now, obviously, with What's the Scuttlebutt, I got a guy in fucking Texas and a guy in Alabama. So the product that we buy to give away is going to substantially increase in value after we add 3 shipping and handling to the cost.
Right.
So I thought if we can come up with something off the air, maybe 2 or 3 things to span the next 3 months, something cool that we might want to autograph, we can have Gordon do it while he's in here in town so that we're not shipping it out to fucking Vegas and paying shipping and handling.
Yeah.
And so, if you guys haven't done so, sign up for Patreon. It's $1 a month. Go to d-410.com or what'sinyourhead.com. Sign up for Patreon. We're going to start doing monthly giveaways. Now, keep in mind, there's more than one podcast. And so it's not like, oh, well, I'm only eligible for the what's in. No, it's anybody who signs up, and if you win, your name's taken on a rotation for 30 days, and then you automatically go back in. And like for obviously one of the things we're working on for What's the Scuttlebutt, because it's a World War II based podcast, and it's going to get very expensive because Jeff has already signed some. He's going to mail them to Henry in Alabama. And
Now,
Henry's
did he
gonna
leave
sign
you
them.
any room?
No. And then Henry's going to mail them to me, and we're autographing in one Garand in blocks. Now the end blocks aren't going to be a giveaway. We're going to we have another giveaway coming up, and actually got a third-party company to add to that, which we're going to make a combo kit. But we're going to be offering up a limited supply of end blocks for people to purchase. But so what I have some here, I'm going to sign, then send them to Henry, and then he's going to send them to Jeff. Jeff's going to keep them out west, and if somebody buys them out west, he can ship from there. And if somebody, but we're also going to have giveaways too that you don't have to buy. And so I thought if we can come up with stuff while Gordon's here for the next week, maybe 1 or 2, we can buy it now. And that way we're not shipping it out to him, having him sign it, and cut down on shipping and handling costs, because that's where the shit's going to get really expensive. But if you guys haven't done so, sign up on Patreon. $1 a month. There's 2 other tiers. If you want to sign up for those, fantastic. That goes a long way to help the show. You know, I understand. Trust me, times are tight. Times are hard. I'm cutting shit left and right to save money. You know, if you don't want to sign up for Patreon, you don't like giving strangers money, I completely understand. That's cool. You can buy T-shirts on our website, and if you don't want to do that because times are tight, go to YouTube, subscribe. I did change the name because I was out fishing one day. You got a YouTube channel? I see your camera. Yeah, it's Digital 410, huh? D410 Media. You go to YouTube, just type in D410 Media, all one word, D410 Media. It'll come up. It's easier than trying to explain. It's Digital 410. It's like 14 minus an E. It's 4. So now it's just D410 Media. You'll find it. And so you can go to YouTube, watch our videos. We're monetized now. We're not by far means multimillionaires, but that was weird. It just threw us on the bottom, the mic up top. But it'll definitely help to support the cause. You guys just have a Roku TV in the spare bedroom. Just turn on our channel, let it play, and walk out. You don't even have to fucking watch it. Just play. Trust me, it'll help. But
please watch.
Yeah, please watch. It helps too. And share us with a like-minded friend. Say, hey, friend, you might like these dipshits. Go check them out. You can download us on, and we never say this enough, you can get us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, directly from the website. And so those are ways you can support the show. I appreciate it. We will be back on our normal new time, Wednesday. I don't know. When are you getting back home? You may have to take a day off after driving for 3 days.
I will actually be leaving Wednesday morning, so I'll be on.
Okay, well, me and Mike will be on. Maybe we'll check in with Gordon from the road. We'll get a man on the street or man on the road. And, but yeah, so.
Shit's all fucked up!
And there goes burying the needle
Here's
again.
Ollie with the weather.
It's wet. But thank you guys.
It's raining sideways.
Thank you guys so much. And we will talk to you all next week.
This has been a Digital 410 production.